Pennsylvania Democrat State Senator Lindsey Williams sparked outrage at yesterday's Education Committee hearing. So today it's time for derision and mockery with her opposition to the Save Women's Sports Act, a bill that would keep transgender athletes out of women's sports. Now, here's her argument. Women face no biological disadvantages to men.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies. For what reason, other than political gain, are we spending time and taxpayer dollars on a completely made-up issue? I want all girls to know that there are elected officials like me who would never underestimate your ability to beat a boy at their own sport.
Is there even a worthy response? I mean, there's a lot, but at the end, is it even necessary? It wasn't done that day because the bill ultimately advanced in a 7-4 vote, but all the Democrats on that committee found that compelling. They voted no. This, as a recent Fox poll shows, 68% of Americans favor President Trump's policies banning trans athletes from participating in women's sports. And it comes also as one of the top bipartisan issues. 43% of Democrats actually support the ban. So joining me now is nationally syndicated radio host Dana Loesch. Dana, I would challenge you. It's one of those things where it's so easy to respond and rebut that it becomes hard. It's so insane, it's hard to meet it with sanity. So I'm just going to share you one other thing that was said at that hearing. One of these people said, nobody stopped Shaq from competing against point guards. So therefore, let dudes play against women.
Oh my gosh. Will, this is just mind-numbingly idiotic that this lawmaker said this. And by the way, you can tell that this chick clearly didn't letter in squat, because that's what somebody who never lettered in anything would actually say. I was a varsity athlete. I know you played sports. Yes, there are clearly obvious differences between the anatomy and physiology of a male compared to that of a woman. My specialty, Will, was the 1,600 and 3,200 meter, the mile and the 2 mile. And I was varsity. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I was really good. I had a lot of endurance. But I tell you what, I actually did run with the JV boys, as a varsity, like, multi-medal winning athlete. I would get smoked by the varsity boys. And it's like that in every discipline. If we didn't have those differences, if men didn't go through puberty and have, faster twitch muscle fibers and thicker bone density, taller, broader, built differently, hip alignment, gait, everything differently, then we would not have men's sports and women's sports. But as it is, science is real, as much as this lawmaker wants to deny it, and there are obvious differences.
I love how she dresses up, by the way, that insanity. And I believe in you girls. I don't doubt you. You can beat the boys. I want to get to this with you. Yeah. Everybody's playing this today, Dana, and I'm going to play it for you as well because it was remarkable. It was Congressman Brandon Gill taking on NPR CEO Catherine Marr. And it was about how she's said and behaved in the past, and her now today testifying about the continued funding for NPR. Watch.
Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it. You said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You put that on Twitter in January of 2020.
Now, Dana, as entertaining as that is, I want to play something that's a flashback for people back from 2022 to set you up here. I would have wanted to know if her swearing in that day was actually valid, because if we go back to a TED Talk, she doesn't actually believe in the truth. Watch.
For our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
Why am I to believe she was telling the truth in front of Congress if she doesn't feel like it's a value, a necessity to tell the truth?
That's a great point, and that is amazing. That's $1 million audio. I'm almost speechless. So she believes that you should just forego the truth just so that you can move along and get along. Well, that always works in progressives' favor. Yeah, it always works in the left's favor because they're the ones who demand that everyone else sacrifice the real truth at the altar of their truth, which is always some sort of fantastical made-up scenario. But that clip that you played, by the way, I thought that Brandon Gill, who's a congressman from Texas, really handled that well with a Gen X cynicism delivered in a Gen Z manner. And her face, what was she going to do? She was confronted with the very truth that she just wanted to get on past so she could develop some sort of general consensus. We are really living in a weird era, Will. Just one quick note. We have we're in this great era of information, and never before have people been wanting to dodge the truth so much, particularly the left.
There is no excuse for taxpayer dollars going to fund that. There's no need for NPR. There is honestly no need for PBS. No matter how much we love Sesame Street, in the modern day media
she
economy,
can fund it herself.
There's no need to fund it. She can fund it herself. Hey, Dana,
these
by the
people,
way,
if they believe in it so much, Will, they need to write the check.
You could beat me in a 1600. I promise you. You could beat me in a 3200, a 1600. You could beat me.
Maybe like 15 years ago. Not sure. No. Not sure now.
No distance. No distance. All right, Dana Loesch, great to see you. Thank you. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.